Hi, everyone, and welcome to CEO Conversations with me, Dina Hayesburg, also known as the Vision Builder, your vision strategist, business consultant who is helping you to take your business to the next level. I'm really thrilled to be doing this CEO Conversations, and I felt what would be a good topic to speak about, given that we're in the holiday season, and I know that for many businesses, this time is the time that you're trying to make the most amount of money. A lot of businesses rely on this period to actually bring in the majority of your sales. But that being said, I've also recognized that there have been some mistakes that I see from time to time that many micro business owners make, and it's mainly because you are in the process of trying to figure out what works, right? You're in the process of really just doing the activity of trying to increase those sales, trying to maximize this particular time of year when persons are generally in a much more open mood towards spending, etc. So welcome to those of you who are joining. And my hope is that from today's CEO conversations, I can give you another level to think about as it relates to maximizing your sales for this period. And here's a quick tip before I even get into what I want to share with you, these 5 ways that you can maximize. A quick tip is that sometimes the way to maximize the impact of this season happens after the season. So I just want to verify with those of you who are joining me on LinkedIn or on YouTube that you can hear me clearly. If you can hear me clearly, I would love for you to just drop a 1 in the chat so that I'm aware that you're hearing me clearly, and then I can proceed, because I really don't want anyone to miss what I'm going to share this evening. It's going to be a really brief CEO conversation. I want you to think about it like a power minute where I'm going to share with you exactly what are some of the things that you need to be doing even while we are in the midst of this holiday period. You can do these 5 activities so that you can actually make the most out of the holiday period. So I'm going to assume that everyone is hearing me well, and I'm going to dive straight into 5 ways that at present you can maximize this holiday period to increase your sales, right? So the first thing that I want to share with you is that you need to identify where your demand is. And I'm kind of piggybacking off of what I shared with you as it related to Thanksgiving sale a few weeks ago. If you have not seen that CEO's conversation, you can definitely check it out on my YouTube channel or even on the LinkedIn page. The key is to identify where the demand is. So I'm going to ask those of you who are looking on live to think about this. What is your most in-demand product? Meaning, what is the product that all during the year persons have shown the most interest in? Whether they have converted into a sale or not, what did they show the most interest in? Identify where the demand lies within your business. By doing that, you can then now focus your marketing efforts, your promotion efforts, concentrated on that particular item. You see, a lot of us as consumers, there is always that there's the business side of the conversation, and then there's a consumer mindset side of a conversation. As a business owner, it's truly important for you to also understand how to tap into the mind of a consumer. And you may not necessarily know how to do that very easily at the beginning, but if you were to think about yourself as a consumer, many times the things that you purchase over the holiday period are actually items that you were looking at before, correct? The things that you purchase over the holidays, typically speaking, are items that you were looking at before. So do you know what the items are that people have shown the most interest in your business? Yes, you may sell a number of products, but what is the item that they're most interested in? That is actually what you should focus your marketing attention on. That's where you should be driving all of the focus, to remind persons about that product, about that service, about that program that they were interested in all along. You want to be able to drive them to that. So first thing that I want you to do is to think about where the demand is. How can you apply that right away to what you're already doing for the holiday period? Well, you can tweak what you are offering. You can tweak what you emphasize. You can tweak where you put the focus, right? So you don't have to change every single thing, but perhaps instead of just having a number of products on your ads, your social media content, how about you focus on the one product that you know everyone has been looking at? That is going to really bring you back to top of mind in the eyes of your clients, in the eyes of your community, and it makes for an easier sale. Make sense, everyone? Feel free to let me know in the chat if you're kind of understanding where I'm going. The second thing that I want you to do, so that was point one. The second point is to go where your customers are. Now, this has been one of the biggest errors that I tend to observe when it comes to persons trying to maximize their sales. You are doing everything everywhere, trying to grab at every quote unquote opportunity. But in a lot of instances, those opportunities are not actually where the customers, the clients, the people who you want to connect with, or the people who show interest in your products or services, it's not where they're actually at. So take a moment, instead of going everywhere and doing all the things, why not go in the spaces and places that your customers actually are, your potential customers actually are. That client avatar that you would have made however long ago, revisit it. Where are these folks spending their holiday time, and where are they spending their attention? That's where you need to become more visible. That's where you need to be initiating conversations. So for instance, recently I had a conversation with a client of mine, and I said, when you are using your social media platforms, if you are clear about who you are serving, it's not where you want to show up or connect, it's where they are. You got to go where the customers are. So do you presently know where to find your customers? Do you presently know if the spaces and places that you are marketing are actually where the people are that you need to connect with? Do you know the offline spaces that you really should be if you are going to maximize your sales? So point number two, very important point, whether it's holiday time or not, these tips can be applied. Go where your customers are. The third point that I want to share with you in terms of maximizing sales during this time is to understand where the value actually lies in your offer. What do I mean by that? I mean that you need to actually recognize what is it about your product or your service that is actually the most valuable part for your customers. And this is a bigger consideration, not only in terms of sales or constructing offers for the holiday period, but in general. Because of course, we're in a time where we have to be much more frugal, much more aware of where the value lies so that we can start to manage our cost of running business a lot better, right? So you got to know what is a valuable thing and what are some of the things that you could possibly remove, and you will not have a challenge as it relates to people still loving your product, loving your service. So where does the value lie? For a lot of you, for the holiday period, you think that the value lies in providing discounts or the value lies in providing bundles. That may not necessarily be the case. That may not necessarily be the thing that gets your buyers over the edge to cross the line into making a sale. You got to understand, what is the thing that makes you stand out, your product, your service stand out more to that customer? What is the thing that you are doing or offering with your product or service that ignites a desire to have what you are giving? What is that? That should be the focus. That should be the focal point of how you promote during this period and generally in your business. That should be your focal point. So if you are doing holiday offers, if you are doing holiday sales, you may want to offer a discount, but Andrea and I spoke about that on the last CEO conversation, so you should check that out. But more than that, rather than offering discounts in order to land sales, amplify the value. Instead of offering discounts, amplify the value that already exists. And persons who've been looking at you for the longest time, thinking about buying what you said, thinking about buying your product or service, they are actually now going to be more inclined to spend the regular price on your product or service because you did what? You amplified the value. Anyone is getting any aha moments here? If I were to ask you, what is the thing that your audience, your existing customers, your ideal customers value the most about your present offer? Would you be able to tell me? I would love to see some comments in the chat to see if there's anything that you can think right away that pops into your mind, right? So that is the third point. And just for those who are now joining, I just want to recap the points we've gone over so far. One, identify where the demand is. So what is that product or service that persons actually have been eyeing for the longest time? That's where you want to focus most of your marketing. Secondly, go where your customers are. Do not overextend yourself trying to be all places doing all things. Go where you are certain that you will connect with the people who will buy from you over this holiday period. The third point is know where your value lies. Instead of thinking about offering discounts every single time, you want to amplify the value. And amplifying the value and being able to stay as close as possible to your regular price point, what you're going to be able to do is to actually feel the positive income impact in your bank account from an increase in sales, right? Now let's go into the fourth point. The fourth point might be a little bit contentious for some of you, but I did allude to it at the very beginning of this CEO conversation. And it has to do with the fact that the holidays may not be your period to drive sales. Wow. Your holidays may not be the actual period to drive sales. Your window of sales, depending on your business, might actually be after the holidays, like in that period right after Christmas. So I've had clients who, because of the type of business that they're in, you're fully aware that persons are really not going to give you much focus and attention during their holiday celebration because you're not fun, right? So maybe you're in the health space, maybe you're in the fitness space. You're not that fun business that they're thinking about in the holiday period. But the mistake that a lot of those micro business owners, those CEOs make is that you don't position yourself for after the festivities when they actually need you. After the festivities, when they actually need what you are offering, when they're actually thinking about what you are offering. Even spaces such as medical clinics, doctors, sometimes they just they don't do anything during that time, right? But if you think about it, right after the holiday periods, people are going to be very conscious and aware of their needs for the new year, the things that they want to change for the new year. And your business might actually be in that window of getting the most traction and attention there because the issues that you already solved are top of mind for the client. So if you turn up at the time when the issues are top of mind, guess what happens? I'm sure we can fill in the blanks. So for some of you, instead of dropping a holiday sale or a Boxing Day sale or a Christmas sale, or if you do recognize that there may not be a lot of activity in your business during the holiday time, don't discredit the fact that there is a window of time right after the holidays that you can actually get all of the attention, all of the client attraction that you have been looking for, trying to get in the holiday period. You can actually get it in a short window right after. Now, of course, this comes with a sacrifice for you. It comes with the sacrifice of preparedness. It comes with the sacrifice of possibly having to turn up a little bit in the time that you yourself want to be festive, but it actually is going to reap a lot of dividends for you in the end, okay? So that's the fourth point. And then finally, biggest takeaway. Well, you know what? They're all big. I'm sorry. They're all big, right? But big takeaway here. We don't just want an influx of sales for Christmas, for the holidays, and then everything dissipates thereafter. How do we retain the clients that you serve, the customers that you've gotten during the holiday period? Your after sales connection is really what's essential to continuing the relationship, to continuing to nurture repeat sales. That is where you are now going to not just go through this constant ebb and flow of highs and lows as it relates to your sale, but you can actually, if you put some attention to retaining some of those clients that maybe bought from you for the first time, encountered you for the first time, or finally bought from you, if you put some activity into retaining the relationship, fostering a deeper connection, having that after sales service connection, follow-up process, what you're going to find that will happen is that now, not only did you just land a sale for Christmas, but you may have now integrated someone into your community who will now become a repeat customer. Research has shown that you can actually significantly increase your sales revenue by retaining as little as 25% of your customers. So that means you can, and I think I really can't remember exactly, but I think you can add as much as 5 times your revenue or your sales by retaining at least 25% of your client base. So that means if you have 4 customers and you retain 1, you can actually 5 times your revenue, your sales, and your business. And that's a useful tip because we're in inflationary times and you want to be able to maximize your outcomes from your action, right? So those are my tips for you for the holiday period. I would love for those of you who are looking on live with me to share maybe one thing that stood out to you from what I've shared. And I'm going to just succinctly repeat what all the points are so that if you just need to grab that particular portion to just remember what it is, then you'll be able to do that, right? So the 5 ways that you can maximize sales for the holiday period is firstly, identify where the demand is and amplify your marketing on that product or service. Secondly, go where your customers are. So instead of being everywhere and doing everything, how about you just go directly where you know the interest exists and connect with persons directly. Thirdly, you want to ensure you know where the value lies for your customer and amplify that value. You want to know where the value lies for your customer and amplify that value. It may mean that you don't have to offer discounts, but that just by virtue of amplifying the value, the regular price comes across as a steal of a deal. The fourth thing is that you may need to recognize if your business is one of those businesses where the holidays might not be, the actual holiday period might not be your big sales influx period, but the post-holiday period might actually be your winning window. If it's your winning window, start positioning yourself for there. And fifth, you want to ensure that you establish that after sales connection, because that after sales connection is going to help you to retain some of those customers, to bring them into your community and to foster repeat sales. So my homework for you, because you know, it's CEO conversation, everything that I share here only matters in as much as you actually apply it. So my homework for you is to take these tips and go off this week and apply one. Change or modify some aspect of what you're doing to apply one of these tips. And of course, please send me a message and let me know how it has worked out for you. Thank you once again for joining me for CEO Conversations. If you know that you need assistance to take your business to its next stage of growth, to refine what's going on with you so that you can pay yourself more, have a platform of growth and profitability in your business, you have access and opportunity to book a free 30-minute vision strategy consultation call with me. They are closed off for the month of December, but if you go to the link, you will be able to grab one for very early in 2023 in the month of January. Thanks, guys, so much for being here. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your week, and I will see you for the next CEO's conversation. Bye.